Hi guys, it is me, ChazzaHD, and welcome today to my Fantasy League results for Week 6, I believe it is. I'm not quite sure if it is Week 6, I might have got it muddled up, but I think it's Week 6, so it is called that. And yeah, how are we doing on this Saturday afternoon / evening? I'm doing absolutely fine. I am currently working very hard to get my mid-season review videos out for you guys. One coming on Monday, which is going to be, again, just like the Mercedes and Ferrari one, quite long. Probably 15 minutes long again. I just want to ask, what did you guys think of the video? What did you guys think of the video? I thought it was good, obviously. Very tiring to make. It took about 15 hours to make that video. Very, very long. But yeah, I had good fun doing it, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it. But before we start this stream, just need to let you guys know of a couple things. One, if you want to join the ChazzaHDF1 Fantasy League, go on to the website, either log in or sign up, and then create or either save your team if you've already got one. And then to join my league, enter the code 29A13E. That is 29A13E, and then you should find my league, and from then on you can join. And yeah, you can join the 88 people that are currently trying to win the ChazzaHDF1 Fantasy League as well. If you want to join the ChazzaHDF1 Discord server, the link to that is down in the description as well. If you want to follow me on Twitter for updates as to when I'm uploading and what's going on with the channel, Twitter is down in the description as well. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well. Bottom right of the screen, you can click there. You can also click on my channel name, or again in the description, my channel page, there's a link to it right there. And also, if you haven't watched my last video, the mid-season review of Mercedes and Ferrari, that is also in the description. But to start off the stream, we're not going to be doing the Fantasy League results just yet. What we're going to start off with is something that just came out of the blue, completely out of the blue, and that is Daniel Ricciardo has left Red Bull Racing and will join Renault for 2019. Now, this is just, it's so shocking. It is so shocking. I never expected this to happen. Never did. There was news 2 days before this news came out that Daniel was adamantly going to sign a new contract before Spa, and then this happened. It was just a massive surprise. I did not see it coming, and if anyone did, then, well, I'd have to ask if they were lying or not, because I don't see how anyone out there actually thought this was going to happen. It was so unexpected, and is it the right move? Time will tell. I think this is a similar move to when Hamilton left McLaren to go to Mercedes, and there are similarities because, you know, Hamilton and McLaren, they had a great partnership, and that was his boyhood team. And technically Red Bull is for Daniel Ricciardo because he's been part of the Red Bull program for, is it 10 years now, at least? So again, it's kind of like him leaving his quote-unquote home or boyhood team. So it is similar, and I think Daniel is trying to do something kind of similar in going to Renault, which is, again, a surprising move. And I'm sure there's people out there that are thinking, why is he leaving Red Bull, who are winning races, and going to a team that currently is between 7th and 10th on the grid? But if you look at, again, you compare it to Lewis Hamilton at Mercedes, Mercedes were doing the exact same thing. They were lining up in those positions, and then once Hamilton went to the team, it changed. And I think it will with Ricciardo next season. I actually think next year, if Red Bull and Honda do not get it right, I think Renault with Daniel Ricciardo and Nico Hülkenberg will be right there with Red Bull for third fastest. If Renault finish 4th in the Constructors, they have to pull away from Haas, Force India, Sauber, you know, teams like that. They have to, because they already have the money and resource to anyway, but the added money for finishing 4th, that will give them enough reason to pull away and start to catch Red Bull. So I think next year, with Ricciardo at Renault, can they get a podium? Probably, say in a wet race or something like that, but again, we need to see in pre-season what the Renault car is like. If they finish 4th in the Constructors this year, then I think Renault do have a very good chance of doing something quite big in 2019 and also 2020 as well. But before we get into my Fantasy League results, I just want to see what some of you guys think about Daniel Ricciardo leaving for Renault. JB says, Ricciardo's my favourite driver, so I hope he can do well at Renault. I hope he can do well, and I hope, again, it is similar to what Hamilton did with Mercedes in terms of everyone questioning the move, but then it works out 2 or 3 years in. I hope it does work out for him. Addiction says, it reminds me of Hamilton, McLaren, Mercedes. Great move of him. It's not... I don't see how it's a bad move. I don't see how it's a bad move at all, because look at the progress, and I've said this so many times, it feels like I'm repeating myself. Look at the progress Renault have made since 2016. 2016, they were 9th fastest. 2017 last year, they finished 6th in the Constructors, but I actually think they had the 5th best car that season. They just had Jolyon Palmer in one of their seats, which was severely damaging the results that they could have got. And if they had Sainz, for example, in that car all year, I think Renault would have finished 5th in the Constructors. And this year, they're 4th. So if they finish 4th this year, there's no reason why Renault next season can't get 1 or 2 podiums. There's no reason why they can't. So it could be a great move, but of course there's a possibility that Renault might not be good next year, but I think they'll definitely be improving on this year. Mario Master, watch Red Bull Honda win the championship next year. It won't happen. It won't happen. I think Honda are improving. Will they improve next year? Who knows? Who knows? Even if they do improve, I don't think it'll be enough for them to win the title. I don't see it. I think up until 2021, it's between Hamilton, Bottas, Vettel, and whoever Vettel's teammate is. If it's Kimi Raikkonen or Charles Leclerc, I don't see Max or whoever Max's teammate is being able to go for the title. I don't see it until 2021. If, of course, the engine rule change does happen, because it doesn't look like it is as likely as it was a few months ago. Addiction says Verstappen will be #1 priority in Red Bull, so no wonder he has left. Yeah, I guess so. Alejandro Barbosa says, sorry I'm late. Don't worry. We've only just started, so you haven't missed really anything. JB, who do you think will be teammates with Verstappen in 2019? I will do that in my F1 2019 driver lineup prediction video, which is coming out in about 10 days time. So next Tuesday. So I think it's I'm trying to think. I think it's the 14th of August. Yeah, that's when my 2019 driver lineup prediction video will be coming out, and I can't wait to make it, because there's definitely some moves that are going to be interesting in the driver market. Alejandro Barbosa, he is a great driver. I think he will have a good time in Renault, hopefully. Addiction, but I think Hülkenberg is just as good as Ricciardo. This will be great for Nico Hülkenberg, and that's one thing I forgot to mention is, now, with Ricciardo going to that team, we can finally see how good Nico Hülkenberg is. Because if Hülkenberg beats Ricciardo, then what does that say about him compared to Vettel? Because, Ricciardo beat Vettel in a season. And what does that say about Hülkenberg compared to Verstappen? Because Ricciardo is currently beating Verstappen and beat Verstappen in 2016, even though I think, you know, in 2016, it's a bit harsh to say Ricciardo was better because, you know, Verstappen only entered that team 5 races in, but, you know, it still happened. But yeah, it'd be great to see finally how good Hulkenberg is, because again, if he beats Ricciardo, then I think that really shows people how good he is. And I'd have to say, this year, Nico Hulkenberg has been brilliant, and I think has been at his best in terms of his entire career this season. JB Hulk completely carried Renault in 2017, apart from 8 points from Palmer and 6 points from Sainz. He carries them to 6th in the standings. He does. He does. Since he's joined Renault, he has been fantastic. Fantastic. I'd say 85% of his performances have been good. At least good. He's been that good. I hope Gasly by addition. Again, I'll get into that in my 2019 driver lineup prediction video. But I will say that Red Bull's choice is not clear-cut. It's not clear-cut. There are more than one driver, let's put it that way, that should be up for that seat. A Grover 112. Let's hope Renault will be good. Don't want him to be same fate as Alonso. That would be sad. It would, but I think Renault, it's clear to see they're making progress. When Fernando went to McLaren, it was a lot more riskier, in my opinion, than Daniel going to Renault when, you know, at the time of Fernando going to McLaren, because McLaren since 2012 to 2014 were getting kind of worse. And it was a bit more riskier. But with Renault, they're getting better, and there's clear signs of that. JB, I was scrolling through YouTube when I saw a video from the F1 Word saying that Ricciardo was going to Renault. Yeah, that's how I found out, so thank God he made that. Baku this year, and last year Baku was, trying to read that, was Hulk's only mistakes during Renault. Yeah, it was, and if he'd not made those mistakes, he could have actually had a podium, but yeah, that's the way it goes. But I think now we are going to end with the Daniel Ricciardo stuff and get into our Fantasy League results. Now, here is my team. Now, for Hungary, the only drivers that did well for me were Alonso, Ricciardo and Ferrari. But the thing is, Alonso and Ricciardo didn't do massively well, really, so I didn't get that many points. And then Ferrari did do well, but they didn't get enough points for me, so yeah, not good. Definitely not good. And that is where I am because of the results from Hockenheim and Hungary. I'm in 57th place, and I believe I am now 5,000 points behind the person who is in the lead. So, not good at all. But at least I'm not down near the back. We have 88 entrants, by the way, in this Fantasy League. So, I'm just below halfway in this league. So, I'm not doing horribly bad, considering I haven't actually changed a thing, or I don't have a turbo drive or anything like that. But here is your top 10. You have Scuderia Khan again in the lead, and then Svenis Rules in second, Sheepish Racing in third, Warrior fourth, Luddy Buddy in fifth, F118 sixth, and he is tied with Forza Ferrari. I'm not going to say the first word because I'm going to embarrass myself because I probably can't say it. They're tied for sixth, and then eighth is Blue Flag Grand Prix. Ninth is Blake 417, and then 10th is No Telling. And if you keep an eye on the comments a lot, I'm sure you'll know who No Telling is. But we'll get into all the teams now of the top 10. So this is your leader, and Grosjean, turbo driver, doing, I guess, all right for him. Bottas doing okay, but Ferrari, Raikkonen, and I guess Ricciardo is what scored him good points from the Hungarian Grand Prix. But as you'll see, he didn't have that great of a of a race weekend in Hungary compared to other people. So his gap has been shortened, I believe. And we'll check out the other teams now. So this is first place. And now we go on to second place. Sebastian Vettel, of course, finishing second, doing well. You have Ericsson as his turbo driver, scoring some points. Then Magnussen, of course, he did well at the Hungarian Grand Prix. Kimi Raikkonen doing well, and Ferrari. So definitely some good choices there. Ocon, he didn't really do anything in Hungary, so I don't think there was much that he could do. But yeah, a good race week for the person in second. And then this is Sheepish Racing in P3. Now, some of his choices did not work out. For example, Max Verstappen losing points, Carlos Sainz, and really Grosjean didn't really score him any points. But then you have Magnussen as his turbo driver, really doing well for him. Vettel and Ferrari, of course, doing well as well. So if he had, say, I don't know, Alonso and even Gasly or something like that, he could have potentially got into P2, but he is currently in third. This is, I believe, Warrior in fourth place. He has Vettel, Raikkonen, Magnussen at the top there. Of course, doing very well for him. And Mercedes as his team means that I think he's had one of the best race weeks out of anyone. And I think the last time I did this, he was down in 6th or 7th. So good there by him. And again, good choices. Then we go on to 5th place. Again, Vettel, Magnussen, Raikkonen. I noticed whilst going through this, there were a lot of people going for Ferrari as a team, the two Ferrari drivers and Magnussen. So to the people who've done that, well done. You definitely deserve a good result. Hulkenberg as turbo driver getting some points. Also Grosjean because he finished in the points in Hungary. And of course Team Ferrari getting both of their cars on the podium. Now, I believe this is 6th place. You have, again, Raikkonen, Vettel, Magnussen, and Ferrari as a team. Again, working out very well. Fernando as the turbo driver. That did score him some vital points, which leaves this person in P6. So well done to him. But if Charles Leclerc did not retire, maybe he could have got up towards P5. Who knows? And then we go to P7. Again, Raikkonen, Vettel, Magnussen, and Team Ferrari. Hulkenberg, turbo driver, and Charles Leclerc as well. So almost the same team as I think one of the previous teams we just went through. And again, doing well because Ferrari-powered cars at the moment are the people to select. You have to select them because Ferrari-powered cars right now are doing absolute wonders. And then this is P8. This is Blue Flag Grand Prix, I believe. He goes Raikkonen, Vettel. He goes for a Haas driver, but he doesn't go for Magnussen, which I think was a bit of a mistake going Grosjean as the turbo driver, because if he went with Magnussen as the turbo driver, then I think he would have been maybe P6 or P7. He definitely could have been. And he went Red Bull as a team who, of course, despite Ricciardo finishing 4th, did not have a good Hungarian Grand Prix or German Grand Prix either. So, yeah, I think he was one selection away there from actually having a good result from the Hungarian Grand Prix. And now we'll go on to P9. I think this is Magnussen as the turbo driver. Sebastian Vettel, Kimi Raikkonen again. But he does not go for Ferrari as the team. He goes for Mercedes. Interesting. And then Gasly, that's the first person I've seen go for Gasly, so good selection there. But Charles Leclerc, of course, losing those points is not going to help. But a great race week. I think, I'm trying to read on the screen, I think it was 191 points. That might be one of the highest out of the top, I don't know, 20 or 30. Very good result there. I believe that's Blake 417. Who has finished up there in P9. And then in P10, this is no telling. He's gone Verstappen, Leclerc, of course losing a lot of points. That is not going to help. But he did go Raikkonen, Ricciardo, Magnussen, and Magnussen as turbo driver, so that did help. And Red Bull's the team who did score some points. But if he had gone, I think, with Vettel instead of Leclerc or Verstappen, he would have, again, climbed some spots. So a lot of people here are just one selection away from having a good race week or two. So, again, showing how key these selections are when it comes to finishing in the top 10 or winning or whatever. And there you go. There is the top 10 again. I'll read that out again. So Scuderia Khan in first. Second is Svennis Rules. Then Sheepish Racing in P3. Warrior P4. Luddy Buddy in P5. F118 P6. Joint P6 with Forza Ferrari. And then Blue Flag Grand Prix in P8. Blake 417 P9. And No Telling in P10. Now, we've got about, I'd say, 10 more minutes. So if you guys want to ask me any more questions, then go ahead, because this is going to be, unfortunately, my last live stream until Friday practice day in Spa in 3 weeks. So again, this is going to be the last time for 3 weeks I'm going to be talking to you guys live. Mario Master says he's 42nd in the league and got 148 points this week. That's a good total, definitely. But yeah, ask me some questions for the next 10 minutes, because again, I'm not going to be doing any live streams until the, I'm trying to think what date it is now. 23rd of August. I think it's the next time I'm going live, which again is, I believe, Friday practice day for the Belgian Grand Prix. But don't worry, there'll be plenty of videos coming in that time. Mario Master, will another team announce their driver lineup during the break? Maybe Haas. I'm trying to think who's the most likely to announce their driver lineup. Probably Haas, because I think they're closer to finalising theirs, because I don't think they're going to get rid of their drivers. I don't think they will. Just looking through the chat. Addiction says, Sainz, what is the options for him in 2019? Red Bull, McLaren. That's about it. There's no other options for him. And I think for Sainz, he has to try and get in that Red Bull. I wouldn't want to be in that McLaren. No way. Lucas asks who is going to drive for McLaren. Again, I'll get into that in a week and a half's time for my driver lineup prediction video. Haas will keep their same driver lineup. Yeah, most likely. Alejandro asks, what are your predictions for the Belgian Grand Prix? Who is the favourite? I'm not going to make absolute predictions until Saturday, Sunday, you know, when we get to the Belgian Grand Prix. But if I had to say right now, I would have to say Vettel for Ferrari. Because the Ferrari car, in terms of power, is ahead of Mercedes. And I think at more power-dominant tracks, the Ferrari is better than the Mercedes. So I'd have to go Ferrari. I'd have to. But who knows? We'll have to see after Friday practice in Spa, because if Mercedes bring a even more bigger upgrade than Ferrari, and they are now, you know, massively fast, then obviously Hamilton will be up there and be a favourite. So we'll have to see. Do you think, from Addiction, do you think Stroll will drive an F1 next season? Yes, he will, unfortunately. I don't think he deserves to be in F1. If I was in charge, I would kick him out of F1, because I don't think he's good enough. And I think there's plenty of young drivers who could do a better job, but money talks, I guess. Vlogging at Charlie, if Sauber announced their lineup without Leclerc, can we assume he has gone to Ferrari? It depends who's been announced at Sauber. It's going to be Ericsson and someone. I don't know who alongside. If it's Raikkonen and Ericsson at Sauber, then yeah, it's going to be Leclerc. at Ferrari. But if it's Giovinazzi and Ericsson, that doesn't really change anything about, you know, will Leclerc go to Ferrari or Haas? It doesn't really change anything. Red Bull, Verstappen and Sainz. Yeah, that's definitely an option that Red Bull have. Think they'll retain Hartley. If not, who will get the drive at Toro Rosso? I don't know yet. That's one of the hardest things to think about in terms of the driver lineups is Toro Rosso, because Gasly, if he does not get promoted to Red Bull, will be at Toro Rosso as a guarantee. But who's alongside him? I don't know. I don't know. It could be anyone. It could literally be anyone. Could Aitken get the Red Bull seat? If you're meaning the Red Bull, actual Red Bull team, not a chance. Toro Rosso, small chance, but again, I don't see it. I do not see that happening. Unfortunately, Stroll will be next year. That was savage. I'll make my feelings clear. I don't like Lance Stroll as a driver. I think as a person, he's fine. He's a, fine person, but as a driver, he's not good enough to be in F1, and it's clear to see that. There is clear evidence pointing towards him not being good enough to be in F1 compared to young drivers that are not in F1 yet and drivers that have been kicked out of F1 that still deserve to be in F1, like Jean-Eric Vergne, Sebastian Buemi, Pascal Wehrlein. The list will go on. Mario Master, how big of an impact did Honda really have on the driver market? People were saying that would be a defining factor. Thing is, I thought Ricciardo sounded happy that Red Bull were going with Honda, but then this has happened, so I don't know what has decided for him to go to Renault. Unless he's just deliberately been lying the entire time, which of course is possible, but I don't know, something has changed his mind. Something changed his mind, definitely in the last month or so, about whether to stay at Red Bull or go to Renault. Lance should stroll back to his mansion. I'm not sure if he does live in a mansion. I'm sure his dad owns one, but yeah, that's a story for another time. Why was Toro Rosso so strong in Bahrain when it was mostly a power circuit? This is the thing, and I got ripped to shreds by people after, on my old channel, I made a video saying why Toro Rosso, I think, are going to struggle for the rest of 2018. And let's be honest, they have mostly struggled this year. I made that video, I think, a few days before the Bahrain Grand Prix, and then they went and finished 4th with Gasly. But if you ask anyone, no one can give you, I think, a legitimate and logical reason, I guess, as to why they were so quick. I don't think Toro Rosso could. They were, I think, as surprised as we were as to how quick the car was. I don't think it was a case of they knew exactly, they knew going into the Bahrain Grand Prix they were going to be quick. I don't think they did. I don't think they did. So, again, very surprising. Do you think Red Bull can go backwards with Honda? If they do some similar stuff like McLaren did in terms of telling Honda how to package the engine inside of their car instead of letting Honda, do their thing, then it's going to be a disaster. But, and I think the F1 Word said this on Twitter a few days ago, and it's a great point, is that despite that whole problem of McLaren dictating to Honda where they want the engine putting inside of the chassis instead of the other way round, the Honda power unit compared to 2017 was less powerful factually than it was in 2016. Now, the reason that comparison is made is because obviously this year they have improved, and it's kind of similar to, say, 2015 to 2016. 2015, say, compared to 2017, they were awful, and then the next year they definitely improved the power and were much better. But then the next year they went down again because they made a change to the power unit and how they designed it, and they were down on power. So if that happens again, it's not going to be a success. What? Let me just show that message because there's nothing wrong with that. I don't know why it did that. JB asks, what do you think about Bottas after the Hungary stuff? I thought he was being a dick. I think he was being a bit emotional, if I'm being honest. I don't understand why he was acting over emotionally. Toto Wolff with that remark did not mean it in a mean way. It was a joke. And if Valtteri had, at that point of time, a sense of humour, he would not have been offended by it. So it was fine. It was fine. If I was Valtteri and a team boss said that about me, I would have been fine with it, because that's exactly what Valtteri was doing for Hamilton. It was clear to see. It was clear to see. So I don't understand why he was so emotional about it. Lucas, Russell must get a drive. It looks as though he is being linked right now with Williams, and it looks as though he is not guaranteed to get the Williams drive, but definitely in the running for that drive if Lance Stroll does go to Force India because his dad buys the team. Right, I'm going to do one more question and then I will end the stream there. So get your questions in for the final time. Again, I won't be going live again for another 3 weeks. So if you need a question answering, ask it right now. Just letting your questions accumulate. As well, when after this last question, I will be updating you guys as to what content is coming in the next 3 weeks until I'm live again. Right, I'm going to end the stream on a question from Vlogging at Charlie. He asks, if I was Horner, I'd sign Ocon and get a deal with Mercedes. Who would you sign? In terms of signing Ocon, it's difficult. I really do like Carlos Sainz. I think Sainz is underrated, but I don't think 2018 he has actually shown his full potential. And I think Ocon has shown more of his. So, that's difficult to say. Very difficult to say. I think in terms of who Red Bull should sign, I think they should sign Carlos Sainz. Because, you know, Sainz and Verstappen were teammates in 2015 at Toro Rosso. And they didn't have the greatest of relations, but it worked. They were both pushing each other very fast, and it worked in terms of how quick they were. So, yeah. Why not go for that? But yeah, I'm going to end it there, guys. JB just saying I'm going to miss these live streams. I love discussing F1 with you, Chazza, and everyone else. Have a nice summer break, guys. I echo the same thing. Have a nice summer break to everyone. Hopefully you catch some sun and have a rest from all of this Formula 1 stuff until the Belgian Grand Prix. But don't forget, guys, I will be uploading a lot of content between now and the end of the summer break, and I'm going to state now as to what that content is going to be. So Monday there will be a mid-season review for Red Bull and McLaren. Wednesday will be Renault and Force India. Friday will be Haas and Sauber, and the next Sunday, so in 8 days time, will be Williams and Toro Rosso. And I just want to put to you guys kind of an idea, but I've kind of decided, to be honest, that I'm going to do this anyway, but I just want to see what you guys think. What do you guys think about a mid-season review of the Formula 2 season? Because I think I'm going to do that as well, to just, you know, add another video to the summer break schedule, because I do want to start doing some Formula 2 coverage, I guess you could say. So what do you guys think about that? If that does come out, it'll be coming out in about 9 days time or something like that. So hopefully I can get round to making that video eventually. And then someone saying that sounds great, good. And then the day after that, on the, I think it's the 15th or 14th, I can't remember, I'll be doing my 2019 driver lineup prediction video. That is going to be a great video to make, and I'm sure you guys will be very interactive on that. And then 2 days after that, I'll be doing a news roundup of all the summer break content, and then the weekend before, so a week before Spa, I will be launching the first episode of the ChazzaHDF1 podcast. The guest has already agreed to come on, and it's basically just a matter of recording it. So, yeah, that'll be coming out, I think, the 18th or 19th of August. So, yeah, don't forget to check that out. As well, I might be covering an event, like actually live at the event, and I might vlog it. So, yeah, that might be coming out as well during that time period. So, don't forget to check that out if it does come out. And then I'll be doing a prediction for who I think will win the championship between Vettel and Hamilton. That'll be coming out before Spa, shortly before Spa. Then, of course, I'll be doing a Belgian Grand Prix preview, which will come out the day before practice day at Spa. And I just want to let you guys know that starting in September, I am going to start doing some classic F1 content, in terms of just looking back at classic races and stuff like that. That'll be coming out or starting in September, and hopefully will be lasting until the end of 2018. So yeah, just want to let you guys know that that is in the pipeline and is coming very, very soon. But again, if you want to join the ChazzaHDF1 community on Discord, then go down and click on the link there. If you want to join the ChazzaHDF1 Fantasy League, join, sign up or sign in. Save your team or create a team, and then when you go to enter a code to search for my league, put in 29A13E. That is 29A13E, and you should find my league. And yeah, you can join the current 88 people in the league so far as well. Don't forget to subscribe. Either on the bottom right of the screen, you can subscribe there. Click on my channel name, you can do it there, and also there is a link to my channel page in the description as well. And there's also a link to my last video, the mid-season review of Mercedes and Ferrari. Don't forget to check that out. And yeah, like and comment this video, and I will see all of you guys next time live in about 3 weeks' time. Thank you all.